What's going on, Attack Squad? It's your boy Roman, aka Mr. Anime 343, back at it once again, and today I want to share my personal thoughts about the state of comic books, in other words, Marvel and DC Comics, and how these soy latte sipping blue haired land whales and sipping soy boys have infiltrated the comic book industry and our hobby in order to get back at us for the 2016 election. As for me, I jumped manga and anime at a young age, and I never looked back, sadly. I mean, I do enjoy comics, but mostly the older stuff, before the social justice weirdos snuck into our fandoms and escapisms, just to try to ruin it for us. Quite frankly, guys, I'm really glad that I've actually jumped ship from the freaking woke perspective of comic books to, the safety and storytelling of anime and manga. And we see it now. These people don't care about entertainment. Political correctness shoved into anything and everything they can infect. And allow with me to actually share a quote from the late great George Carlin. And this guy really deserves all the respect, even after death. I mean, heck, even Norm Macdonald for that matter. He said, and I quote, "Political correctness is fashion disguised as manners." And that right there speaks volumes. I don't care what your stances are. Comedy is satirical, and it should show that people like him are always in the right. They keep changing our favorite comic book characters for the sake of tokenization. And, of course, I actually had to a certain little phrase from my good friend Omega Katana, so shouts out to him. They're actually chasing after the phantom audience, because if they actually go after the phantom audience, then they're going to get a lot more money than they would with actual fans, which is not even true. DC is cucking Superman after he was stripped of his powers. He was thrown into a Russian gulag and brutally tortured and assaulted in a not so pleasing way. Let's say that he was actually sexually raped. Sorry. Not in a good way either. And I actually gotta say, this is the state of freaking books after the freaking 2016 election. And I totally have to agree with Ethan Van Sciver. We shouldn't have actually let these feminists into our freaking comic book industry, because these people don't even care about comic book fans or the lore or the source material. They just want to destroy anything and everything that they could get their hands on. This just shows that people don't care about the fans. And we've been living with more and more disappointment. And it's going to get more and more disappointing if we keep letting these people into our fandoms and they keep destroying it and saying that we are the ones that are in the wrong here. Look, I'm also going to quote another friend of mine, Alex Kogan, and he says, "You can come into our fandom, but don't break our stuff." But what do? They actually freaking break our stuff, they point fingers, and then they actually say, "Oh, we're actually in the wrong because we're actually nothing more than istophobes and Nazis." These woke comic writers and Kelly Sue DeConnick, my apologies, I got a little tongue-tied there, don't care about making new characters or stories. They destroy what was successful, which they've actually done since 2016 with that old reboot of Ghostbusters. And it's not even canon, but let's face it, these people do not care one bit. They don't care about the canon, they don't care about the lore. They just want to shove anything and everything, including gender identity, into something, trying to actually, get their points across. Like, we need to actually be more inclusive. That's all I gotta say about inclusivity. There's actually two types of inclusivity. There's natural inclusion, which is like me and the Otaku Squad, aka the Council of Weebs. We're naturally inclusive. We have different backgrounds. We all actually unite under one thing, our love of anime. But then you also got freaking tokenization, which you actually see like modern entertainment these days. They just want to freaking sit there and actually be preachy about people who don't care about the lore. They just want to sit there and say how grateful they are for actually trying to ruin something that was actually successful once upon a time. They don't care about the fans or the fact that they can't make a single successful comic book because they don't want to be canceled by cancel culture on social media, which I find completely asinine. And they're only doing it for the sake of actually getting likes and retweets. And another quote I like to share is from Raging Golden Eagle. Likes and retweets don't equivalent to revenue, aka money. So you really need to kick these freakers out as quickly as possible. Okay, and RGE, if you're watching this, I do apologize for that freaking crappy impression of you. I just actually had to do that because A, I respect you. B, you're a really great stand-up guy. And C, I really look forward to actually when you actually release your Blade Devil, because that right there is just absolutely perfection. And here's the thing. Anime and manga makes money because they give the fans what they want. Unnecessary preaching or gender identity politics shoved into your face. This is where Gauss-Gate comes into play. They're independent comic creators who also do the same thing as anime and manga, and they make new stories along with relatable characters. The same thing these comic pros are also, without, the comic pros saying shit like, oh, we need to actually be more like this. Or we need to actually include pronouns into certain characters' bios. No. Uh-uh. Hold on, I lost my place here. And don't even get me started on the fact that there's a lot of media outlets that are actually saying some very nasty lies about Comicsgate, saying Comicsgate supports the alt-right and they're white supremacists and they support misogynistic trades. Also, the clickbait media loves bashing on indie comics and also anime and manga, all for the sake of getting clicks and revenue from those who are stupid enough to actually read their articles and get offended by it. Guys, I'm just going to keep this $1.50, okay? Do not give these people your revenue. Do not freaking engage with these people. Just actually ignore them, block them. Let them actually deal with their own consequences of actually not getting any, per se, interest or anything like that. If you actually ignore them and just stop giving them attention, that's a worse punishment than giving them negative attention. Also, another lesson learned by Raging Golden Eagle. I don't really agree with everything he says, but he's still a great guy. And he deserves all the respect he deserves. And he has mine, okay? All in all, we need to show support for those we care, for those who dare care about us and are willing to give us what we want, because they are worth our hard-earned money. and they should have the right to whatever they want without consequences. Of course, that's where I'm going to leave it. Feel free to let me know down in the comments, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, also make sure you have notifications on so you won't miss any of my videos. Also, if you want financially, Kofi and Patreon will be linked down in the description. And as always, guys, just remember these 3 things. Respect the waifus, enjoy your fandoms, enemies freedom. And until the next one, this is Mr. Anime343 saying, sign out, everyone.